Yeah, good evening, class. You're welcome to elementary statistics class. I'm Mr. Pobi, taking you for this course. Now, among topics which we'll be looking at in this course are the types of data. We'll be looking at representing data using tabular representations, pictorial representation. Then we'll also come to further description of data using the measures of central tendency, the measures of dispersion. Then we'll look at sampling distribution and estimation, and finally wrap up on hypothesis testing, which essentially means that for our 5 tutorial sessions, we may have to do 2 topics, for some of the tutorial session. So you take note of that. Yeah. So as part of our learning objectives in elementary start, we should be able to know the difference between descriptive inferential statistics, and then their definitions as well. We should be able to distinguish the features between populations and samples, explain the purpose of the measures of location variability, etc. That is asymmetry. Then we also talk about probabilities, how to estimate probabilities for a given process, to explain the difference between probabilities for discrete and continuous random processes of variables, and also how to recognize and understand which probability distribution function can be employed, for various processes to be able to estimate confidence interval given for sample means and sample proportions, and of course, to be able to test claims about given population, using the hypothesis testing procedure. Okay. Now I've already sent the slides to you. I sent you my lesson summary note, which I'm using in class today. I sent it. That's the first thing I sent to you. And I've also sent the Lima's notes to you, on the page. So if you don't have it, you need to ask the course rep to repost it on the page for you, so that we don't end up always coming to class asking for notes. In any case, your Lima's notes are already on LEMSAS, so you can easily access it for use. Okay, now moving on, let me touch briefly on the methods which we will employ in class. Key among the techniques we'll be using at the webinar using Zoom, as we are aware. So for the Zoom, we'll be using that for the online tutorial session, as I indicated to you earlier on the page. Then we'll also be making use of the WhatsApp for regular communication, posting necessary links and materials. Then we're also making use of LIMSAS, where you have your assignment, your quizzes, and your forums, and your MCAs, 1 and 2. Then we'll also be having the Google Class, which will be used for forums, and forums are basically for discussions, okay? Discussions relating to the topic taught on a particular tutorial day, okay? So after class, I'll post a question. You can comment on the question or even comment on another person's response, okay, to the initial question. Then we'll also be make use of YouTube, where the videos for the online session, that's a webinar Zoom session, will be posted. Okay, so you take note of that. Once it is posted, which already is on YouTube, okay, I've already uploaded all materials, all videos, lecture videos of this course on YouTube. So all you need to do is to go to YouTube, subscribe to my page, and you have access to all the materials, all the video lectures relating to this course. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, so moving on, we want to begin with the types of data. And before we look at the type of data, we need to understand what this whole concept of statistics is all about. Okay, and statistic as a branch of science, okay, is defined as the science of collecting, organizing, presenting, analysis, and interpretation of data to assist in making effective decisions. So as scientists, what we do is to redefine processes and to build new process. And the only way to achieve this is to begin with data, okay? We collect a lot of data and then proceed from the data collection stage through organizing of the data, okay, on using computer softwares. Then we proceed to present the distribution of the data using graphs like pie charts, like histograph, like bar charts, multiple bar charts, etc. Okay, we have presentation of the data. Then after presentation, we also have what we refer to as analysis. And from analysis, we have interpretation of data to assist in what? In decision making. Okay, so essentially there are 5 stages in statistics as a science, okay? From collection to organization to presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. Now, moving on.
Frequency distribution tables. And presentation, we use bar graph, pie charts, graphical techniques. Okay, graphical techniques to display the data in various categories for us to really get what is going on. Okay, good. Then we have inferential techniques, which make use of a number of statistical analysis tools. Okay, where we go further to test the obtained data from the field or from an experiment with underlying theories or what is expected, okay? Then based on that, we come to a conclusion and we interpret our results, okay, in light of what we are observing from our sample information. Good. Now, key things we need to understand before we proceed with any statistics course is the concept of a population and a sample. A population is a complete set of individuals or objects with a particular characteristic of interest. Okay? Whereas a sample is a part of the population of interest. Okay, so we may be interested in examining, maybe in a research, we are interested in examining the leadership of head principals, okay, leadership at the senior high school level. If we're talking about leadership or the type of leadership, okay, then the key people we're talking about here will be the headmasters and maybe headmasters or assistant headmasters. They are the leaders in the senior high. So that will be our population. Every headmaster or assistant headmaster will have that particular characteristic. So the list of all head teachers are what we refer to as our population. But if we should select, currently we have about 700 senior schools. So if we were to select about 200 head teachers in a study, then we've selected a sample, okay? Sample for our study. Good. Now to today's lecture, which is your lecture 1, types of data. Very good. Now, the type of data we have is dependent or contingent on the type of variable at hand. Okay, then what do we mean by a variable? A variable is a criterion, a quality, or a characteristic which value changes from one object to that. So an example of such a quality is the age of persons. So let's say our research on the head teachers, when I administer the questionnaire, I'll have question 1 as what? Age. Okay, so question 1 is age. Then I give a number of responses, maybe 25 to 30. Put our square bracket here. We have 31 to 35. Let's put something like that. Okay. Then we have 36 and above. Okay, or we can say greater than what? Greater than 36. Okay. So age is a characteristic of interest to us as a researcher. So age is your variable. Good. So our variable is what? Age. Good. Another example, I could ask the person, how long have you worked? How long have you worked? Or how long have you been in that role as a head teacher? Okay, then I say less than 1 year. Okay, 1 to maybe 3 years, and then above 3 years. Okay, good. Now when I do that, my variable of interest is what? Is you can say experience or experience in the school or time spent as head teacher. Okay, so your variable will be the time. You are measuring the time, okay, as head teacher or as leader. Okay, so as the head, that is your variable. That is what you are measuring. Okay, now if let's assume this is the first questionnaire we administer to head teacher from a school, one head teacher from a school A. So head teacher from school A would have told us he's above 36 years and he's been in the school for more than 3 years. Okay, so what is going to happen is when we come to, you see, this is data collection stage. All that we are doing is data collection. When we finish with data collection, we now need to classify and group that data. Okay, so we come with the respondent, what IT students will call as the record. Okay, then we have the variables. The first one is age. The second one is what? Time spent. Okay, or if you like, you can put experience. Okay, good. So for the first head teacher from school A, that is respondent from school A, his age is what? 36 to above 36. Okay, good. So we could have chosen to write above 36 like that. Above 36. Good. Then experience is what? Above what? Above 3 years. Good. So this is for the first respondent. Now let's take the views of the respondent from school B. So we take head teacher from school B. He says is between 31 to 35. He's been there for 1 to 3 years, between 1 to 3 years. So we have B, we have 31 to 35. And then the person has been there 1 to 3 years. Yes, let's take more data. We want data from about 3 respondents. So let me take more data. So we take the next data. So in the next data, we're going to have this guy is also 31 to that, but he has just been transferred to the school. So he's been as a head teacher for just 1 year. So when we record this will be the third school C, and that will be 31 to 35. And then he's been there for 1 year. Good. So you will see that what we have just generated on our left bottom corner is what we usually refer to as what? Data, right? Are you with me? Yeah, Grafty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have your hand up.
Yes, sir.
You have a question to ask? Okay. So, like I was explaining, this is what you refer to as what? Data. Yeah, Grafty, it appears you have something to say. Come in, I'm waiting.
Yes, sir. It was the other one I raised.
Okay, sure. So this is what we refer to as what? As data. Okay, this is what we refer to as what? As data. Okay, good. Now let's take some more variables. Okay, we are more. Let's say we were interested. We asked more than 2 questions. So another variable will be if you look at age, experience, then we can look at educational level. Okay, highest educational level. So we can say educational level, ed level. Let me put it that way. Highest educational level. Okay, so this guy could say degree. This guy could say I have a master's. Then the last person will say, I also have a master's. Okay. So, yeah, so we've built a database, okay, for this respondent. 3 people, we have database on these 3 individuals. Okay, so now I want to do something quick before we move on. That should have come at the end, but since I've already written this, we'll do that quick before we proceed. Now, there is a concept we refer to as coding. Coding means we are assigning numerical values to non-numeric data. Okay, so in the context of this study, we could code these variables. You see, if you say above 36, is it 36, 37? I mean, sorry, is it 37, 38, 39? Which age? You don't know, okay? But you can code it as 1 and inform the computer software that 1 means above 36 and above. And let's redo this. Because it's a smaller age, okay, our initial responses was, I think we started from 26 to 31. So 26 to 39 will be coded as 1, whilst 31 to 35 will be coded as 2, and then 36 and above will be coded as 3. So once you see 36 and above, we have code 3. And then this guy is code 2, and this is also code 2. Then when you come to experience, we apply the same principle, okay? So which means less than 1 year will be code 1, 1 to 3 years will be 2, and then above 3 years will be 3. We have, that is the experience. Then we do same for educational level, okay? So for edu level, we have, we started with, okay, of course, we should have defined the categories, okay? So we could say that somebody has to get a degree. Degree should be the minimum. So maybe degree is going to be 1, and the master's will be what? Will be 2, okay? For these 3 head teachers. So basically we can see that clearly now it looks like a numeric data, okay? Which you would easily accept as data. But in actual fact, this is the coded form of the data. So this is the real data itself. Okay, this is the real data itself. And you can see that there are different types of data. Some are in numeric, has numbers. These are numeric, 36, 33. Then some are non-numeric, okay? Degree is not a numeric data. It is non-numeric data. So what we are saying here is the data we obtain depends on the type of variable we are dealing with, okay? So age is a numeric variable. Experience is a numeric variable. When I ask you your age, I'm expecting numeric data or numeric response. So age by itself is numeric in nature, okay? And then experience is also what? Numeric in nature. So experience measured in terms of the time of stay in that position is numeric data. Whilst educational level is non-numeric, okay? So that helps us to classify the types of variables into two main types, which are the quantitative and the qualitative data. So we have two main types of data sets. These are the quantitative and the qualitative data. So variables are classified as what? Quantitative or qualitative. Okay, good. Now we want to look at examples of quantitative data. Quantitative data, like we said, have numeric what? Measures. Have numeric measures or numeric response. Okay, good. Whilst qualitative data has what? Non-numeric response. Okay, so they are non-numeric in nature. Very good. Okay. So proceeding from there, we want to look at examples, more examples of qualitative and quantitative qualitative and quantitative variables. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I have a data set here where we're looking at a number of variables with responses provided to them for three observations. So we have gender, we have price of shoe, we have nationality, we have number of children, we have weight and rank. Now, can you help me to distinguish between this type of variables? So this is why I need you to come in. So help me to distinguish the type of variables. What kind of variable is gender?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Gender is qualitative.
Yes, gender is qualitative. Good. Price of shoe, Ahmed. Ahmed, price of shoe. Yes.
Price of shoe is quantitative.
Good.
That means it's numerical.
Yes, you are correct. Becky, nationality.
It's qualitative.
Qualitative, you are very correct.
Yes.
Right, number of children.
That is quantitative, sir.
Quantitative, you are right. Weight, Daniel, weight.
It's quantitative and it's numeric.
You are correct. And then rank. Yes, rank.
Rank would be qualitative.
Qualitative, you are very right.
Sir.
Very good. So we got it right. Now there is another distinguishing feature we need to look at. When it comes to, we are looking at a quantitative type of data. So these three types. When it comes to this type of data, you can clearly see that whereas some are in whole numbers, you see these data sets are in whole numbers. These ones are in decimals. Okay, good. Now, if I ask you for the difference, you tell me because one is in whole numbers and the other is in decimals. No. is because of another classification or the way we obtain the response or the data for these variables. For example, when I ask you for the number of children, all you need to do is to count. So you count discrete figures, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I ask you to give me your weight, you will have to measure. And measurement is based on the level of accuracy of the scale you are going to use. So if the scale reads to first decimal place, then you read your results to first decimal place. But if it reads to 4 decimal places, then you give me your results in what? 4 decimal places, okay? Which is not the same as what? The response for number of children. You cannot ask for number of children and somebody tells you 1.5, okay? That only happens in statistics class, where one of my students said the 1.5, half will mean Aki and Popo. Then when it comes to price of shoe too, we have clear pricing, okay? Clear cut pricing. So it's either 1 CD, 2 CD, 1 CD per square, something like that, okay? It is very clear. So it tells us that even under quantitative variables, there are different types. There are ones that we count and ones that we measure, okay? Now, counting quantitative variables are referred to as discrete quantitative variables. And then those that are measured are referred to as continuous quantitative variables. So let's go to our diagram and then see some more examples. So when you come here, you can see we have under quantitative, we have continuous and discrete. So discrete, we have number of cars, number of children. Okay, good. Then when it comes to continuous, we're looking at heights, we're looking at weights. Okay, good. Then when it comes to continuous, we're looking at heights, we're looking at weights. Okay, it's continuous quantitative variables are measured. Okay, whilst discrete quantitative variables are counted. Good. Now let's also go to the qualitative variables, or what we call as categorical variables, and look at the differences in there. For qualitative variables, we have 2 types. We have types like nationality and rank. There are differences in here. Okay, good. Now, what are the differences? When it comes to nationality, we have Ghanaian, Chinese, Nigerian. You cannot classify a Chinese as being more important than Nigerian, or Nigerian being more important than Ghanaian, okay? We're all humans, so there is no distinguishing differences in there. The same way when we come to gender, you cannot say male is higher than female or female is higher than male, okay? So nationality and gender appear to belong to one class. But on the other hand, when you go to rankings, you get to the police officer and you go calling him what? A corporal instead of a sergeant, or a sergeant instead of a private. Okay, then there are going to be issues because they are not the same. You need to go through a number of protocols and a number of tasks before you move from one rank to the other. Okay, the same with our teaching profession. You start off as an assistant lecturer, to a lecturer, to a senior lecturer, to associate professor, to a professor. Okay, so you can't meet an associate professor and refer to him as a lecturer. You can't do that. That would be suicidal, okay, if you are in academia, right? So there are clear-cut ranks. Rankings are always in some order. They are in order, but nationality and gender are not in those kind of ordering. Very well. So that said, let's go back to our flow chart and then see. So what we
before I continue, I want
saying in summary is qualitative variables or categorical variables can also be classified as what? Nominal or ordinal. Nominal are those ones without order. Nominal means no order. No order. So example will be what? Will be color, will be gender, will be nationality. So you cannot say that because your favorite color is black, black is nicer than white, or white is nicer than black, or red is nicer than violet or purple. You can't say that. Okay, good. Whereas when it comes to ordinal variables, we have ranks. There you cannot miss the rank. You need to arrange them in order. You cannot miss them, okay? So in qualitative categorical variables, ordinal ranking, okay, is very in ordinal ranking, it's necessary you always arrange, okay, from one rank to the other. Now, let me touch a little bit on that aspect as well. Even in ranking, there are two ordinal ranking, there are two types of ordinal ranking. We can have what we call as clear rank ordinals, and then we can have what we refer to as level ordinal. Okay. Whereas rank ordinals, like I explained, for example, the rank of a lecturer will move from associate to lecturer to senior lecturer and that. And for that matter, you cannot go saying that a senior lecturer is an associate lecturer because assistant lecturer because you think he looks young or she looks young. You can't do that. Okay, because before you move from the rank of a senior lecturer to a senior lecturer, you have a lot of work, a lot of rigorous rigorous processes you go through to get there. Then when it comes to level ordinal, I will cite an example and you understand. If I ask you for your preference of chocolates on a scale of 1 to 5, let's do a simple activity. But before we do that activity, one limitation with the Zoom is after 45 minutes, the system will automatically log me off. So I'll come back again, okay? So you don't have to log off. I'll just come back in again. Good. Now let's take that activity. So on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is the highest, I want to know your preference for chocolates, Ghanaian chocolates. Okay, so I start off with D. Grafty.
Yeah, I'll go for 1.
You go for 1. Yeah, very well. On that note, I'm going to ask a further question. Good. So within a month's time, or let me say within a period of 1 month, how many chocolates do you take? So the first person was Grafty. Yes.
Zero.
You take 0. No chocolate.
What is A? That's a
Yes.
no chocolate.
Becky, how many? 3. How many chocolates within a month?
Yes.
How many? 3?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay. Who is the next person? Osman. Osman, it's your turn. Take 0 chocolates a month. Okay, the highest. The person who said 5 takes 3 chocolates a month, whereas the person who said 1 also takes 3 chocolates a month. And the person who said 3 takes 0 chocolates a month. So you can see that this rating, even though they are still ratings, are based on perceptions. Okay? They are ratings based on what? Perceptions. Yeah. So they are sometimes relevant, okay, but not always true as they seem to be. Okay? So level ordinal are also ordinal, but they do not have clear-cut intervals between them, because the person saying 5, okay, probably is saying 5 because we are getting close to Valentine. Okay? Yes. Might be saying 5 because we are getting close to Valentine. The next time you ask him in March or in April, she will tell you, no, my choice is not 5, it's rather 10. So that is how the level ordinal scale also works. Okay, any questions so far?
So far, I'm cool.
Very well. Okay, so this gives us the types of variables. Let me summarize it again.
Yeah, so class, can I take some questions from you? Can I have some questions from the class? Hello, class. Can I take some questions from you? Any questions? Dela, do you have any question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. Chris. Patricia. Okay. Yeah, let's continue.
We have 2 main types of variables. We have quantitative, we have qualitative. Then under quantitative, we have continuous and discrete. Under qualitative, we have nominal and ordinal qualitative. Then even under the ordinal, we say we have ranks and levels. Okay? Levels. We have ranks and levels. Good. Then let's also summarize the form of measuring or obtaining the data. So when it comes to discrete quantitative, we count. Okay, so discrete quantitative, we count. Whereas when we go to continuous quantitative, we measure. And when it comes to nominal, like gender, okay, if you want gender, you only have to sort between males and females, okay? So nominal, we And then when it comes to ordinal variable, we order them. Okay, so this is order
Rank level. Okay.
order them. Very good. Then don't also forget the coding. Okay, so coding you always take from the least to the highest. So if then in terms of the nominal where there is no order, so if you have gender, and we have male and female. Okay, let me better still go back to the